there is a stark difference between someone who comes out with just a pure degree and someone who actually complements that with a professional qualification. Now, the big difference is that when you study in university, chances are your lecturers will tell you, study from chapter this to this, and we're going to test you on that. Right? It's very definitive. But in a professional exam, they teach you to think outside the box. What is tested may not necessarily be what you have actually studied. What they're testing you is actually on the application itself. Have you learned? Are you able to apply? And that's very much lifelike. In life itself, you know, I can't tell you that this is what's going to happen from 9 to 5. Things may go outside, and you have to decide what do you do based on your knowledge. So the professional exams are actually a very good conditioning for the individual to broaden their horizon. And that's why, you know, like what Dr. Zaitun said, you know, when we work with clients can tell straight away whether that individual is someone who has actually gone through a professional training or is just a pure degree holder from the way they actually articulate their thoughts. Now, in an accounting firm, I think most people by default always think that it's just auditing. But it's not just auditing itself. You know, organizations like KPMG has also the tax as well as advisory. Now, which one would you choose as a graduate? It really depends on your character. You have to actually do a bit of research. The people who select tax, tends to be those who obviously a bit more legal-minded, because tax is a lot about reading tax laws, you know, interpreting how to apply some of these. And again, the nature of that job means that you tend to be more desk-bound, so a bit more routine. Okay, audit, no way. You know, you'll be lucky if you have a desk. You know. Then you have advisory. Everybody wants to be an advisor. You know, I tell you, graduates, everybody comes and approach me. I want to advisory, very good. I can advise clients. How much do you know to advise clients? You know, people will not listen to you unless you got some grey hair. And I don't think I see anyone with grey hair at the moment. You know, so
don't look here.
An auditor's job is not routine. You don't go to a fixed office every day. You actually go out to your clients. And your clients could be in different industries. So that person must actually be prepared to venture out, learn new things, different things. They must be someone who's strong networking skills. They will be meeting different people. You get a chance to meet someone from the store clerk right up to the CEO. And again, that person must have confidence. You know, you're talking to people at different levels of seniority. You know, if you do not carry yourself up and hold yourself up confidently, you know, your credibility, you know, in terms of why you're asking things and all would be questioned.
I think it's also important to have good interpersonal skills. As they say, there are many ways to skin a cat, so there's also many ways to ask a question. I give you a very good example. When I was in the rating industry, we look at companies and we look at the leverage, you know, the debt equity ratio. And one of the analysts actually walked into a Tan Sri's office and asked Tan Sri, "Why are you so highly leveraged?" He got kicked out from the room. Okay, there are many ways that you can ask that question. And I think it is very important that when you are trying to find information, you have to win over the person on the other side. And the more you can win over the person, the more information you will get. However, if you put people off, if you are rude and you don't know how to carry yourself well, then people will not give you the time of day. Right? Before you can walk in that room, you need to have that qualification. The moment you are in the game, it depends on how you conduct yourself.
When you graduate, when you join an organization, I try to illustrate it as though it's very similar to joining university. You're coming to a brand new place, different environment, different people. Half of the people in the organization you've never met before, and you need to re-establish yourself. All right. So I think for a lot of graduates, or when they join an organization like an accounting firm, so think of it like starting your first day at uni. All right. You need to re-establish yourself. All right. Mix friends, interpersonal skills. All right. And after that, one of the things that you're going to find is that that's the only part where it's similar to university. After that is the real world. It's going to be a fast pace. Your seniors, your bosses, your managers are expecting a lot from you because after all, you are a graduate. They are expecting some value from you. All right? And you're going to find that as much as they expect value from you, they also provide you a lot of resources. That's when the information overload comes in. The amount of things that you have to learn. And your learning curve is not a very slow one. It's going to be a very sharp, vertical learning curve. All right, the opportunities are there. It is an environment which I personally found very stimulating and very challenging for those who have got very high career aspirations. You'll be amazed at how much you can learn. And I always tell the graduates that after a year, when you go back and see your parents, they won't recognize you. The way you carry yourself, all right, the way you converse with them, all right, because you've learned so much, and that learning will never stop, so long as you don't stop.
If you wanted a glamorous career, I don't think you'll be here. Glamorous career is like modeling, or fashion design, or acting, where you get instant fame, right? Auditors, unless you spotted some big fraud, you can get instant fame also lah. It's important is that you must enjoy what you do, right? And I always like this word passion. You must have, even in cooking, you must have passion, right? Although I'm not a great cook. But whatever you do, there must be passion. And I think if you are passionate, if you really want to progress and you really want to learn, and if you are enjoying your work, I don't think that coming back late or having to work long hours is an issue, because you enjoy your work, and that is very, very important. I'm a workaholic and I'm happy. I think that is very important, that you are happy, And I don't go into this work-life balance thingy, okay? To me, as I said, I'm a workaholic and I'm happy. And that is the most important thing, is to be happy. Don't worry, be happy. You know that song? How many of you know that song? Yes, my landlord is going to litigate, I'm still happy. Don't worry, be happy. But don't worry about everything lah. Exam must worry, don't worry about everything. Very careful about the first job that you choose, because going back again is like building a house, your foundation. So if you join an organization where they do funny things you will end up to be a funny accountant. You will not end up to be a proper accountant because you don't know any better. It's your first job. You thought that's the right way to do. And that's why I say if you join organizations like good international firms like KPMG, advertisement, because got commission. It gives you a very good foundation. You know what is the right way to do. Then when you move on, even if you move on to smaller companies, it's okay, because then you know, hey, this is not right.
So you need to actually ask yourself, what is it that you really want? And each one, there's no right or wrong answer, honestly. Each and every person will have to decide. I have actually got one individual who has joined me before in audit, and that person actually told me that I like audit, but I only want to do forensic audit. Alright, and forensic audit is a very unusual area of audit, because that one will be more risky, You find things, people not very happy with you. So, and this was a girl, believe it or not, it was a girl. And at that point of time, my forensic department only had guys, because of the nature of the risk. So when she told me that, I said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, I'm very sure." All right, because of her conviction, her passion that this was what she wanted to do, I gave her the opportunity to do a trial run in that division. That was 12 years ago. Today she's now a director in forensic. All right, but to be fair, that was the only one person that I know who had such passion and conviction about what they wanted to do. So in the same manner for each and every one of you, you need to have some clarity of mind. What is it that you want? If you're very clear, then go for it. If not, then go for something a bit more general, a bit more wide-ranging, so that you build up different levels of experience. I think the toughest challenge which I faced yesterday, today, and it will be seen for tomorrow will be managing change. Alright, we are in a very fluid, dynamic, ever-changing environment. Alright, and change is hitting us, from a business perspective, from the regulators, technology is enhancing and changing the way we do things, and people are also changing because of the times. How do you change, evolve, alright? Not just to adapt to current day situation, but in anticipation of where the business dynamics will move to. Alright, that has been my biggest challenge. Alright, running a department of 170 people, each one, every year there are new graduates joining us, each one coming with different ideas, different thoughts, and getting them to buy into that vision, getting the existing people to change their existing habits. Very difficult. We are all creatures of habits. Alright, you ask somebody to cross their hands the other way, it never happens. They feel very uncomfortable. But change is inevitable, change is necessary in order for you to actually be at the top of your game in the industry. You've got to have a very clear vision, clear focus of what is it that you are trying to achieve. Alright, you got to be honest about the difficulty, alright, that you will face. Alright, and at the same time, you got to be very clear about the benefits it will bring. Alright, if you are able to articulate that, alright, and convince everybody, alright, that it will actually make things better and contribute towards work-life balance, alright, then there's something in it for everybody. So that has been the way that I've taken in order to overcome some of this and to get everybody to buy into where we're headed.
Once you enter your first job, stay a while. Don't be too impatient to move on. I tell you, I always say that, learning about the foundation, the first 6 months, you only know where the toilet is and where to get the stationery. You hardly learn anything. And after a year, that site pay me 300 more, I go. No, it's not worth it. You stay a while, you learn the ropes, you stay at least, I always say 5 years before you really, really know and learn something meaningful, right? Because some of you are smiling, okay I give you chance 3 years, at least 3 years, okay? Before you really learn something. That place may be terrible, you hate your boss's guts, but stay because you are learning. And I always say that, in career, sometimes I come across people who got nothing nice to say about the boss, who got nothing nice to say about the company they work with. And I say, never mind, but you learn. And the knowledge that you gain, nobody can ever take away from you. If that company doesn't recognize you because your boss hates your guts, after 3 years, you already got all the experience, hey, by all means, move on. You don't have to stay there and keep on grumbling and keep bad-mouthing the company, bad-mouthing the... because if you keep bad-mouthing like that, actually the person that is going to lose out is you. Because you will end up to be a very negative person. And that's why if you have qualification, you're not worried. You just move on, right? But at the same time, you move on with knowledge.
3 A's in life that I think you should try to adhere to is, first A is attitude. Alright, make sure you have a very positive attitude. Alright, life is not smooth flowing. There will be ups and downs. You need to have a positive attitude, pick yourself up, continue the journey. Alright, very important. As an employer, I always look at that. The second A would be for adaptability. We need to adapt to different conditions. Alright, we never know what will happen. How we react to it, alright, how we make use of it, and how we look at it positively, alright, will actually determine the outcome of many things. And the third one, I think, is you must have some aspirations. Focus. Where are you headed? Alright. I think a lot of graduates always tell me that I don't know what to do. You can't say you don't know. Alright. What I think a lot of people are afraid of is that they're afraid to make a decision. Alright. So best thing is don't make a decision. And that's bad. So attitude, adaptability, aspiration. Alright. That's, I think, very important.